I'm Dustin, Prince of Aphotic Realm, and this is Bo, my indie author friend.
Fabulous powers will be revealed to you the day we hold aloft our mics and say,
I have the geekdom!
Geek-Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds.
Thunder Nerds! Ho! Welcome to another episode of Geek-Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I'm Dustin.
I am Bo.
And this is the podcast that talks about all the things you love.
Without all the hate.
That's right. And today we have a very special guest. His name is Jeremy DeWitt, and he's a He-Man aficionado, a musician, an artist extraordinaire. He is also a Turtles fan. You'll remember him from our Turtles episode back when we had that for season 1. And welcome. Thanks for coming back, Jeremy.
You guys are too kind. It's my pleasure. I love coming on and talking about stuff. So anytime, man.
Welcome back, sir.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Oh, man. So we're both getting over colds, so you'll have to bear with us. We're still a little hacking and coughing a little bit.
That's fine, man. I'm just like naturally hacky coffee. It's like every time I breathe or something, all of a sudden I've got some weird mucus going on. So
yeah,
it's all good.
How's your solo album thing going?
You know, I've actually had to take like a little break on it because I've been doing so much like arty stuff that I have to like. And it's not like just personal stuff. It's like people have asked me. Like I've been working for this dude, Joe Teague, also known as Motu Joe online. Yeah. He's got a company called Retro Rags.
Yeah, and I saw the T-shirt that you just were talking about. That looks great.
Yeah, thanks. He's been having me like do stuff for him. I don't know, since like kind of last summer. So every once in a while, you know, I'll be working on a project for that, and he'll be like, yeah, you think you could have it done by Friday? It's like, you know, Thursday at 11:59. It's like, yeah. So I got to kind of bust it out, you know. And but you know, it's his ideas, you know what I mean? Like it's his company, so he comes up with the ideas, but he can't draw. So he's like, hey, can I get you guys to do this and that? And so I've been doing a lot of drawing, and then I got another buddy that wants me to like make a comic for him. So I'm trying to do that. Like in my head I can draw a comic really awesome, but when you actually have to put pen down to iPad or whatever, like it's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, it's all about storytelling and how you lay it out in the page, in the panels. Sure. How it's represented. That's a big make or break. When someone asks to see your panels, it's like, do you have any panel work? If you don't lay out a story without words, if they can't see what you're trying to get across, it's hard to find work if you can't land that. It's hard.
And not only that, but like, well, of course, I've never done a comic, so it's I've read plenty, so I have like ideas of like how I want to do this and that, and they don't really give me a lot to go off of. The guys, they're just like, hey, can you just draw this? Like, at least Pete, the guy who's got me doing his current one, he's like, kind of has a layout of what he wants. So I have an idea, but he doesn't have any character designs or anything like that. So that's all on me. And then I'm like, okay, so I draw a character in this style, and then I show it to him. He's like, kinda. Okay, well, critique. Tell me. I can take criticism, no problem. And he'll tell me, change this. Okay, so I do that. I give it back to him, and he's like, kinda. And it's like this back and forth process. It's the same thing with Retro Rags too. Just everything, Drawing for other people, they always have their own vision in their head. When I'm drawing for myself, I'm like, it can go wherever it wants, and in the end, it's okay if I don't like it because I'm not trying to please anybody but me. And I've let myself down so many times over the years. I'm just used to it.
Yeah.
So these guys are like, it's hard because they want a certain style. So, and I can do a lot. I can draw a lot of things, but man, have you ever like layouts, like people? Okay, I can draw people, but having people like do an action pose or jump through the air or whatever, it's like, well, now I don't have an entire page to draw this. I have like a panel, and I have to fit it in with other stuff, and then there's backgrounds, and so I've decided that I'm a terrible artist and I hate myself, but yeah, then I feel better about myself when I complete a panel or something. But it's hard, man. And I find myself having to use references and stuff too, which I've kind of done through the years. A lot of artists do, where they'll look at something and take inspiration from it and kind of, people poses or, a car or whatever. And so I'm having to like look at stuff in a different way. I'm like, hey, talking to my daughter, like, hey, come here. Can you kind of like do like a move for me? Like bend yourself in a certain way so I can kind of see how this would work or how the clothes would, just stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it totally made me like, I had a lot of confidence going into it, and then I had to kind of reality check myself and go, yeah, dude, you need work on this, you need work on this, you need work. But it's good because I'm growing in the process. I'm learning how to use my programs a little better. And, I'm also kind of making my name through these people,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it's like my brain loves it when I have nothing on my plate at all because I can just relax. If I want to sit there and play, Legend of Zelda for 4 hours straight, I don't have any guilt afterwards, but then there's part of me that also loves to have a lot of things going on at the same time. Mm-hmm. I got this project and this project, but it's always best when you complete one though. So I got to make sure I actually complete these.
Yeah.
So eventually the music will go.
Yeah. As is with all passion projects, sometimes they take a while, but it's worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so some news came out this past week, and I have to know, are you prepared for August?
August, eh?
Mm-hmm.
What could possibly be happening in August, sir?
Oh, I don't know, maybe PowerCon.
I don't know that I'm not prepared at all, but I'm prepared. that makes no sense, and I'll explain. So last year, PowerCon was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. Me and fellow podcaster Steve went. We brought our buddy Matt, and it was just like we were all like kids in a candy store. Matt had been there before, so he was kind of like a little bit snarky and kind of like, yeah, you virgins. And until he met Axel Jimenez, his artist, like he worships his art so much. He does a lot of work for Masters, and he was just like blushing and so we all went through our moments. Best experience of my life. I absolutely loved it, and all the people I met were great, so I want to do that again this year. We're already all planning on it, and then I get hit with the fact that it's going to be moved to Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's fine as long as PowerCon's happening, because I was told that PowerCon had a 5% chance of happening.
Right.
So I was pretty much ready to not go and just be like, well, at least we went the last year it was going. And then miraculously, Christmas miracle, boom, it's happening. And Val Staples basically told me that if I don't go, that I'm stupid because Disney's right across the street.
Right.
So that's when we started talking, me and Steve, like, so what do you think, man? Like, do we just do the Three Amigos again? Or is this a chance for our family to be involved? Because needless to say, man, you leave the wife and kids at home, they're going to have a little bit, no matter how much they were championing your your journey and loving that you had a good time and everything, they're all bitter.
Yeah.
Why didn't I get to go on vacation? Why did, and I can go, well, because it's He-Man and you don't like He-Man. Well, there's plenty of other things that we would have liked, Jeremy. Okay, all right. So the fact that it's in Anaheim at a really nice looking hotel, I might add. You guys watch the Pixel Dan video by chance? My God, it's so awesome. So price isn't that much more for the hotels.
No, like $20 more or something like that?
Somewhere around there, yeah. And they got the deal, I think, going on right now to get the, they have the PowerCon deal going on right now. But
I haven't looked because I knew I couldn't order it yesterday when it opened, and I was afraid to look. I figured it was sold out.
It may be, I don't know. But what happened was, so I brought that idea up to Steve about the families, and his wife was there. And his wife is like planning Patty, man. She is ready to just, okay, that's what you want to do. And she gets on the computer and click, click, click. She's going through everything. Like, she loves vacationing and figuring out all this stuff, and she gets deals here and this and that. So we just kind of put it in her hands, and I had to convince my girl, but I believe we're all going.
Oh, well, that's good.
We got the hotel rooms booked, so at least that part's done. But I don't know about Matt, if Matt's going to have his family go. They were kind of on the fence, but it should be cool. I mean, we're going to hit up Disney for a couple days first. I mean, my family's never been on a vacation together, ever. Yeah. Like, my kid is 12, and she's like, Dad, I'd like to see Disney before I die. Like, fair enough, I get it. It's not going to be Florida, but it'll be close enough, And, but I had to, like Steve told me, he's like, did you have the talk with your wife? I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, because I sat down Courtney, he says, and I had to tell her, we'll do Disney. Family, that's great. On Thursday, we'll do it on Friday. But the second Friday night, Saturday morning hits, you don't exist to me anymore. You are not my wife. I don't have children. I am a child. The whole weekend will all be, PowerCon and this and that. So I had a similar conversation, but it was not that aggressive, because my girl likes to hang out and meet people and all that type of stuff. So she's ready to kind of do that. I'm like, but listen, if I spend an hour and a half digging through cells to find the perfect Skeletor from, whatever episode of the Filmation cartoon, you cannot say anything, because that's why I'm there.
Right.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. That was my long answer to, I'm super excited about PowerCon this year. Plus there's a bunch of people I can't wait to see again. And that's really the biggest part about it, is meeting all the people.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Steve got recognized last year, so that was pretty epic.
Yeah. Yeah, that was... Yeah, I followed the videos that you guys posted about your journey. They were pretty funny. And
did you watch all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they're entertaining. They were definitely worth a watch for anyone that's listening to this, and to say the least. And it definitely opened my eyes, because it looked like an experience that, moreover, that I might want to partake in, and that's what interested me the most about this whole thing, and even open up the prospect of me even considering going to PowerCon, because it's like, I've been to Star Wars Celebration, but twice, but it's like they were huge, and I met people that I'm still like friends with online and stuff, but it was just so massive, and I don't know, you just sort of felt lost. But
yeah, with this, it's very intimate, know. Videos can make it seem like it's this big giant thing, but I mean, there's like one room of stuff, and then when you're hanging out, it's all these people you've been seeing online for years.
Yeah.
Anybody that has anything to do with the DVD releases or the book releases, or I mean, anybody on He-Man.org, like, all those people are there. Yeah. And that was just phenomenal right there. It's like, oh my God, I'd be going to Steve like, dude, it's James E. Talk, he did all those books, and he was on the the fan commentary for stuff, and he was on the bonus DVD. He's like, I know this, Jeremy. You don't have to tell me everything I already know. And then, the best parts, you walk up to him, and he's, oh, hey, Jeremy. I'm like, like,
you know my name.
I'm not the creepy guy. Well, maybe I am a creepy guy who stalks him still, but at least he was nice to me. So,
yeah, I mean, it just looked like a cool thing to do, and again, like you said, with it being across from Disney and all that other stuff, it's like, well, maybe I wouldn't want to go without taking like my mom to help with the kids.
Right? Yeah.
So and my mom absolutely refuses to pretty much like leave the state unless it's to go back to home to see her sisters and stuff and family. And so I called her up Friday night, and I'm just like, so how would you feel about taking a once-in-a-lifetime journey to see an experience of your grandkids that their eyes light up in joy and wonder and magic, once-in-a-lifetime thing that will only be experienced? She's just like, what are you talking about? What is it? Where are you going? And I'm just like, Disney. And
Disney.
and she's just like, in Florida? I'm like, California. And she's just like, I don't really like California. And I'm like, once in a lifetime. Your grandchildren, eyes light up. And she's just like, but I don't like flying. And I'm like, don't think about the flying. Think about your eye, the children's eyes,
Right.
the magic, the wonder.
And then you put a little top hat and you're like, when you wish upon a star.
That's
All
brilliant.
right,
So did you get a yes, or is it still pending?
She said we would have to consider it, but she's not opposed to it.
Good deal.
Because, one, she hates flying. Two,
Yeah.
she hates California with a passion.
Having only really been there, I've been there twice, but I actually got to experience like the driving, and I didn't drive, but the chaos that is California.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh, I could never live there. That is just not me.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's sort of her attitude about it too, but it was like, there's a lot of planning, especially with kids, like, okay, so we fly. Okay, so how much is that going to cost? Okay, well, we already had sort of looked up the price to see if it was even feasible. We know how much the hotels, okay, and it's not too far away. Okay, but with kids, okay, so, with flights, apparently you don't have to have car seats. You can pay for them to be like lap kids or something, I guess, because I guess one of my wife's friends just flew. But it's like, okay, that's fine, but once you get there, they're going to be in a car. You're going to have to rent a car to get from point A to point B, from the airport to wherever, and then you'll need a car seat. What are you going to do then? So then you're going to be hauling luggage and car seats and children. And it's just like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I didn't think about that. And it's just like, oh, man, that's a lot.
You just got to think of the destination, man.
Yeah.
All that other stuff is just stuff that's in the way.
Yeah, I know. That's sort of what I'm trying to hold on to, because it's like, I want to hold on to that. Because it's like, I would like to go see the Star Wars thing that is apparently going to be done by then, supposedly,
yeah,
maybe.
That's what I'm hearing. Yep.
Steve's
which would be
kind
cool.
of
Excited about that.
Yeah. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. And then, of course, PowerCon. I've been wanting to go ever since I had seen those videos that you guys posted last year and talked about your experience. I thought that looked absolutely fun. And, that's what it was all about for me. And I think it's also about who you go with or who you know that you're going with. And I think, because, the people I went with, love them to death. But, it's like, oh, let's go hit these things. And then I don't really want to stand in line for 17,000 hours for this thing. And that's what it was all about. It was like standing in line for 17 hours just to be rushed through this exhibit. And then if you wanted to talk or see anyone of note, you had to be jammed in the back of the room and look at a TV.
Yeah.
Or miss all the other exhibits and then stand in line for 17 hours just to get like close to the front of the room. And then they even still had a pretty far clearance to the stage. That's how massive this convention room was. And it was just packed with people. Yeah, so, I mean, it was still fun. It's still a cool experience at the Star Wars celebrations, but, you know, this seemed more like what I'm looking for. It's like, let's go hang out with other people that like the same nerdy thing that you like.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the best part is like, you know, on the outside, I'm kind of sad that He-Man isn't as huge and awesome as I want it to be, you know, or as popular or whatever. But, you know, on the other side, it's like, well, this convention isn't, you know, and I hate to say that it's smaller because then that sounds like a negative thing, but it's actually a really positive thing because it's more intimate. You know, you're more, you can see all the booths and, you know, meet all the vendors and go through their stuff. And then you can go around again and then check all their stuff again. And like, oh, there's a new thing I found. You know, you don't have to like feel like you're rushed to hit up as much as you possibly can. And plus there's 2 days of it. So
right.
If you didn't get to go through everybody's stuff the first day, there's the second day. And then there's a hangout at the last night, you know, where all the people got together and, you know, we had some drinks and there's a little party and, you know, it was just nice.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I ended up meeting JJ Conway.
Oh, yeah.
He works at Nickelodeon. Like that guy was like, he messaged me out of the blue. He was like, dude, you're in California? I'm like, yeah, PowerCon, dude. He's like, I'm like 15 minutes away from you. I'm like, well, come out. He didn't even go to PowerCon. He just went to the big party at the very end and hung out with us for a while.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it was pretty fun. And we, you know, of course, me and Steve were doing our He-Man and Skeletor, you know, skits throughout the whole weekend.
Which everyone seemed really patient with and, like, didn't look at you guys like you were absolutely crazy, which was awesome.
You know, you couldn't get away with that anywhere else.
I know.
And I just went with it because, like, part of me, like, I'll start to do something like I'm walking around with Battle Armor Skeletor and I'm talking to people on the show floor, you know,
in your Skeletor voice.
And it's the most ridiculous thing in the world, but I just went with it. Like, part of me is like, this is the stupidest thing. So, you know, I feel so stupid. But then part of me is like, own it, dude. And I did. And people they ate it up. So, I don't know. It's kind of hard not to do. We did it at the after party, too. And, of course, if you saw the video, you know, you saw He-Man getting drunk finally after, you know, days of him being like, you got to do the right thing. And finally he's like, screw it, I'm gonna get drunk. And he got drunk and like lost his arm and all this stuff. And the funny part was like JJ was watching us do that last one, and the next day in my messages I get a drawing, you know, from a guy who storyboards the new, you know, cartoon, who's now the assistant director of Ninja Turtles. He sends me a drawing of Skeletor holding back He-Man's hair while he's barfing in the toilet, missing his arm.
It's just like
brilliant.
That's awesome. Where else in the world, right?
Yeah,
that was epic.
Such good stuff.
Which, I mean, also, not to completely derail the topic, but congrats to him, to JJ. The Turtles show just got what was it? An Abby Award?
Yeah, like the first time Turtles has ever been like nominated for something like that, and I don't know if that's a you know what that really means because I don't follow that stuff, but that seems pretty important.
Well, it's important for you know, animation and you know, their world to be recognized. So, you know, that was good for them, especially, you know, for their team.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I don't know how much you guys have watched that new cartoon.
I've watched a good portion of it, which I'm interested to hear what you think.
See, I haven't watched like right when it's released. I don't want, you know, I haven't sat down and put 100% into it, but I have watched at least pieces of every single episode, and they've been on, and my granddaughter comes over and she's like Ninja Turtles. She associates our house with Ninja Turtles.
Nice.
So of course I'm like giving her Ninja Turtles to bring home, and like, you know, looking at my daughter like, sorry. But I have watched them. Like, okay, it's goofy. It's a little, you know, it is a comedy. That's bottom line.
Yeah.
Which I kind of expected. But I like it. Like, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not the best version of Turtles we've ever had, but it is kind of refreshing because it's not the same stuff over and over and over again. Even
I like a lot of the new stuff that they're doing.
Right. And even if this isn't like my favorite version, or will even go down as that, at least it's something fresh to break up whatever's going to happen next, you know?
And it's definitely not my least favorite version. That's for
sure. And I know, you know, when I was on before and I talked to you guys, it was all kind of speculation at that point. And now we kind of know sort of what's going on. And like, I'm not unhappy with it. I think Splinter's hilarious. Like, I don't even care that he's, you know, not, you know, the 2012 Splinter. I love that Splinter. That's like my favorite Splinter was the 2012.
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
Like, this guy is just, he's hilarious. Like, it just makes sense to me. It's funny.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of the Grandpa Ninja in Three Ninjas, the live action movie with the three ninjas, Tum Tum and Colt and Rocky.
Jeez,
you remember that movie?
I've there forever.
I remember those movies coming out, but I never saw them.
Oh yeah, if you go back and watch the very first one, the very very first one, the grandpa in it, he reminds me of that one, especially when he in the Down with the Sickness episode, when he puts on his like ninja gear and he starts like chasing after him, he looks exactly like the grandpa, because the grandpa, those kids get in the first three Ninjas movie, get kidnapped, or someone gets kidnapped, and he puts on his ninja outfit, and he's sort of like this squat, like sort of chubby guy, and he has his little katana, and he's going after the bad guy that has his daughter or grandkids or whoever, whatever the scenario was. and he's going after him, and he fights him and stuff, and it reminds me of that so much. But even his humor, it's just like, get out of my way, you know, and just like, you know, he does that stuff, but then he'll throw in little nuggets of wisdom in between all the other stuff, and it's just like, oh, he just made them do all this work while he was like totally chilling on the couch, but it was really a lesson, you know,
which kind of has sort of a Miyagi vibe in a sense as well.
yeah exactly.
Yeah. And I like that. And so many people, of course, like, I mean, if you've read through the TMNT Lives Forever people, there's a lot of people that just, I'm mad, I'm still mad, I'm never going to be happy, I'm so mad about it. It's like, oh, why do you guys take this stuff so seriously? Like, it's okay. Like, it's a comedy. Like, it's just a different version that exists. Like, I mean, and I might have said it before too when we were talking about stuff. I have a terrible memory, but you know, those original comics, they go from super serious to a goofy, you know, issue to like, especially when they had like guest artists and writers come in and stuff, and it's like, so this is kind of like whatever, it's going to be however many seasons of like this kind of funny thing. But on top of that, like, number one, the humor is actually good. Like, people say it's aimed for kids, and maybe that's the case, but there's some like adult, totally adult references at least in it, you know, things like West Side Story, and like, you know, they have the Ninja Turtles 2 dance.
Yep.
And just stuff like that, like all these little references. So it's still, you know, it's for us, but kids are going to watch it. But some of that, the action scenes, like, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's some really, really, really good animation. There was one recently, I don't know the name of the episode, but where they were using like a ladder to fight with. And it's just all this amazing stuff that I've never seen animated with a ladder before, and it sounds so dumb. But when you watch it, you're like, oh my god, that was really awesome.
Yeah, I'm up to episode 16, but I have not seen the latter one yet.
I wish I knew the name of it, but I think like a bunch of like the bad guys, kind of like there's a bunch of them in the episode.
Oh, probably the Evil League of Mutants, maybe.
It could be that one then.
It looks like there's a bunch of bad guys in that episode. Baron Draxum assembles a league of mutants to defeat the Turtles.
That sounds about right then. JJ actually shared that scene in particular, I think, either on his page or in the Turtle group. And I watched that, and I was just like, oh my God, like that's really good.
Yeah.
Hate the art all you want, but the animation is pretty top notch.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, plus the humor and some of their like personalities that have come through are just hilarious. I did not think that I would like every single character as much as I do.
Right.
Like even down to like insignificant characters, like, well, not insignificant, but like Baxter Stockman. I thought that was funny because he's an actual stock boy. I thought that was funny. And then, April O'Neil, she has so much attitude, and like, especially in the first episode, the Mayhem episode, when she's just literally diving off like the cliff thing into danger and biting and gnawing at people. It's just like, she has some tenacity. I like it.
She's essentially like the fifth turtle at this point,
Yeah.
They're all kind of, she may be even like the most aggressive out of the five. So.
For sure.
And I won't say that she's my favorite version of April, because I mean, I'll be honest, like April's not one of my favorite characters to begin with. She's the turtles, like, communication or the link to the outside.
Yeah.
And so there's always like been a version, like, I'm just not huge on April. She's just like a normal person, and I like all the crazy things, the crazy people and stuff. But I do like what they're doing with her as far as making her, she's not going to be a damsel in distress at all. She's aggressive. She's out there. She's obviously doesn't care about danger. She jumps right in there and does it. And and she's got some sass to herself. So there's a lot about her, especially in this day and age, where little girls, especially will be able to watch it and go like, okay, all right, I can do that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's important, for little girls especially. Like, I don't want my kids to be pushovers. My two girls, I want them to be able to stick up for themselves instead of watching princess stuff where they're always saved every day,
Right.
It's like, that's not the kind of thing that I want them to be watching. So it's like, they watch things like Mulan, and which is, I know, has other things going on with it that are troublesome. But still, the point is,
man.
she comes out as a hero, and Moana and Brave and things like that, like where they're heroes and strong female characters is the thing. And
they've been they've been pushing that a lot. Within the last 10 years or so, where they're really making it a point to make women out in the forefront. Not where it's like, all we got back in the day was like, hey, did you know at the end of Metroid, your hero was a girl?
Yeah.
It's like, now it's like, no, these women are out front. And, Captain Marvel coming out next month, like she's the strongest superhero in the MCU and stuff. And like, I do like it though. Like sometimes it feels a little heavy-handed, like they're trying to force it down your throat. But when they do it naturally, I love it.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. So, I mean, do you have anything else going on that is new and exciting?
I have a new obsession with collecting 5.5 figures, things that are in that scale. I don't have any of these yet, but the DC, what are they called? They're in the Savage World.
Oh yeah,
stuff. What are they called though?
Oh, I forget the
primal
ones. Yeah, Primal Age.
Like I don't have any of those yet, but ever since like I went to PowerCon last year and picked up some of like Realm of the Underworld and Pirates of the Galaxies and stuff like that from Michael Zolotaro, I can't stop finding 5.5-inch figures that I love.
Have you got any of the horror icon ones?
Yeah, I have all the horror ones. I have the Thundercats ones.
Yeah.
I've been getting the Super 7, vintage He-Man ones. I went online the other day and I saw, because I'm in like some 5.5 groups now too, and that's, I don't know if you don't know what that means. It's the scale, 5.5-inch. But somebody was promoting this, these battle tribes and Warlords of War stuff, and I'm like, what's this? Why don't I know about this? And I don't know if you know who Chris Facone is, but he does a lot of artwork, and he's done artwork for like this brand or these brands. And one of the characters is like Bognar or something like that. I just remember seeing that art before, but I never knew it was a figure. And these dudes, like, they're in the same style as like old He-Man toys, that same Funko, the new Funko style and everything.
Uh-huh.
But they're like even smaller. They're like 3 inches instead of 5.5, and I'm like, oh my god! So like, I've been on this total kick of picking up all these things. And they had these. Did you ever play pro wrestling for Nintendo?
Mm-mm.
Back in the day, it was essentially each character like was their own. It's like wrestling, but it was made by Nintendo. Each character is their own deal. Like there's a dude named Starman, and he's dressed all in pink, and he has a star on his face, and he has a special move. There's a guy named the Amazon who basically looks like the creature from Black Lagoon, and he claws your face and chews on you. And it was just so awesome. But these companies, they put out little 3-inch figures, and they look just like those dudes. And I'm like, no way. So it's like Nintendo and like He-Man together, and oh my god! So I'm obsessed, and I can't help it.
Yeah,
they got some G.I. Joe ones too. I think some companies doing like some indie figure company. They're packing them so they look like the old G.I. Joes, but they're completely the He-Man proportions.
Oh yeah, that's Super 7's doing those, the reaction figures. They're doing He-Man and seeing that too. I didn't like those. I was like, I'm not going to get any of those. Then I got a Scare Glow. And guess what? Now I like them. And there's this guy, I don't know if you heard of that Plastic Crack documentary that's going to be coming out. It's not out yet, but it's going to be coming out eventually. I don't think they have a date. But it's, this like series of, obsession and collecting, toys. And the guy, the director, Guillermo Olivo, I think that's how you say his last name, he was messaging me going, Jeremy, you got to get those Super 7 reaction figures. You got to get them. Get them, Jeremy. And I'm like, stop it! You're that influence on me. Like, I have enough stuff as it is. Because he saw my obsession with the 5.5-inch figures and stuff. He's like, oh, no, you got to get these. They're like $15 a piece, man. I'm going to, it's just too much. I hate it. I'm like addicted to collecting. And I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to run out of room.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, one of my recent obsessions is if you remember Battle Beasts, I think you have some. I think I saw some in your collection. Yeah. I loved those as a kid. Well, I was looking. I got this toy app because I was going through my stuff, and I wanted a database to know exactly what I had and what I didn't have, and all that stuff. So I downloaded this app for my phone. I think it's I forget what it's called. I think it's just like Toy App or something. But Toy Collector 3. So I was going through there and I found Beast. Found the thing I was looking for, and then it listed out several other things, and I'm like, what are these? And I started looking, and I'm like, huh. And of course this app's cool because it had pictures and had the date and all these other things like what it came with, and found this thing called Beast Saga, and I'm like, what's this? And they're like It's just like the old. Wow, I'm lost. Just lost my train of thought. It's just like the old. It's just like the old Battle Beasts.
Okay.
Only they're a little bit bigger, and they have, and instead of like the insignia that you stick your thumb on and they heat up, and it shows the affiliation, it has a dice in their chest, a little like D6.
What?
Yeah, and then it has a plunger on the back, and you hold it and you push the plunger and it shoots the dice out of the back and onto the mat or the floor, or they even have the special arena that will shake the dice to randomize it a little bit more, and it's battery operated, and and then whatever dice roll you get is who wins. And then there's another thing that you can stick in their chest. It's you roll the the instructions are in Japanese. It's never been translated, so I've been sort of looking at different places trying to figure out exactly how to play, and I know the gist of it now because I've learned over the last several months. But so you have the magic die, and then you have the battle die. So then you stick the magic die or the modifier. So like each one shoots the magic die that comes with the figure, and then you have like a pre-selection of modifier die that you can choose. So it's like if I roll a 7 and you roll a 9, and that means you can kill my dude, I have to beat your roll of 9, so I can either roll, I see your magic stuff, so I can either put another die in to try to roll like a 10 or something bigger, like collectively, or roll something to like break your magic spell or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so it's a dice rolling game, but in figures.
That's
and the
so cool.
figures look just like the Battle Beasts, only obviously they look a little bit better. Like in some ways, they're bulkier, boxier a little bit, but they're of the roughly the same scale, just a little bit bigger because they have a little square in their chest, and they're really cool. So I've been grabbing
you have
those.
to send me some pictures of those.
Yeah,
I want to see those for sure.
I'm just like, oh man, I need to get these, and I've got my kid interested in them, and so like we play the game together, and so it's just like we got a bunch of them, and it's just like, man, I want to get these before the game's gone because it's been discontinued and in Japan, and it's not coming to the U.S. apparently, and it's just like, now I got to get these before they're gone, and you can't find them anywhere, and the prices just skyrocket.
Do you get that like anxiety?
Yes.
When like collecting anxiety, like if I don't get this now, and you like
yes,
feel it?
yeah. My heart beats. If I don't get this now, then I'll never be able to get it, and my collection won't be complete, and I won't be able to find it, and then it'll be so expensive I won't be able to afford it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yep. Every time, like
my marriage will suffer.
Every time Super 7's like,
have to buy
here's
this.
a new wave. I'm like,
my life won't be complete.
Yeah, I got to get it now. I don't really have the money, but oh well, I'll figure it out later.
I'll sell my life. I'll sell my blood. Maybe I can sell a limb or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I also, over the years of collecting Magic cards, and I've had opportunities to buy like dual lands is one of the big things that I'm always trying to get. And a long time ago, back when I was trying to buy them and couldn't afford them, Underground Sea was $120. And I'm like, oh man, I can't afford an Underground Sea. I need that card so bad for my deck, but I can't afford it. It's $120. I'll have to save up and get it. Maybe I'll be able to get it one day. And I can't afford it right now. Fast forward to now, it's like $500 for one.
Yep.
And it's just like, yeah, now I'm definitely not ever going to afford it, and my collection will never be complete, and I'll never be able to own all the dual lands.
It's the curse of being a collector, man. It's always that way.
Yeah. You're
like, well, it's super expensive now, and the chances of it going down are probably slim to none. But, who knows? That's the thing, too. You just don't know. Some of those, like, Ninja Turtles from 2012, it's like, okay, new guy out, gotta get him. And then, like, you know, this he could be rare. You never know. And then now you can't give them away. It's like,
yep. Yeah, certain ones.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even like Muckman, I think went down.
Which he's one I wanted to get, and I was wanting Usagi Yojimbo. Couldn't find him anywhere. Finally did. Still don't have the one in like the samurai armor. Just have the regular one.
Oh yeah.
Or the one on the horse. That was the other one I was wanting. But I also wanted Muckman. Could never find him. But I digress.
You still don't have him?
No.
Well, you know that right now they got the pizza points going on, right? For the new Turtles figures?
Yeah.
And if you save up enough, one of the things you can win is Muckman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I haven't gotten anything from them yet, but I did join the pizza points thing for like $15, and they're supposed to send me like 4 figures and something else for that. And then I also saved up enough points to get one of their package thingies, and that had Muckman and something else in it. So, I mean, if you're collecting the figures, man, that's the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 2 sets of the new ones. I have one that we opened and one we kept in the box.
Oh, we'll see. If you open the ones that are in the box, you can use those pizza points to your advantage.
Yeah, we opened the one set, and my kid has the parts all over the house already.
Yeah,
she took them and played with them. I'm proud of it. That's fine.
Yeah, you definitely got to go on. I don't know what it is, what the site's called, but I just put in, like, you know, search something, Playmates and sewer points or whatever, pizza points.
Yeah.
And definitely look into it, because, I mean, if you already got them, why not? You get free stuff, so
yeah,
free stuff's good.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't want to use up your whole day. I appreciate you hopping on here. Do you have anything else you want to promote or talk about?
Oh, I don't know. I'm terrible at promoting myself. I guess.
I know you got customs. You got your T-shirt, which will all have links below. How would someone reach out to you if they wanted customs? Just contact you on Facebook or?
Yeah, just Facebook's probably the best place. I mean, I am on Instagram and stuff, but for some reason I miss a lot of messages on there, and I don't answer people for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, I just got this. So I would find me on like Facebook. Yeah, I mean, I do customs. I got the Podcasters in the Universe. I got that live local show. If you ever want to see me on a stupid talk show, it's on, I believe it's on MuskegonChannel.com. And Muskegon is Muskegon. It's kind of a new little venture for me. So I don't know. It might be successful. It may not, but you can definitely see my collection on there. So if you want to see a nice HT version of my collection, there it is. But yeah, I'll just hit me up, whatever. If you just want to talk about stuff. See, like you guys talking to me today, just about random stuff. That's awesome. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't get to talk to people like this very often. So it's nice to just sit down and, you know, let our words fly and kind of see where it takes us. We went on the conversation rabbit hole.
Yeah, we did. And that's sort of like one of the things we wanted to do this season was just have, like, talk to people who, you know, are geeks, but also have stuff going on. You definitely have stuff going on with your podcast and your art and your customs and music and everything else going on. And on Retro Rags, you have your Rancid T-shirt that you did the art for over there. That's a limited time thing.
Yeah, but there's going to be 4 throughout the year. This is the first one.
Yeah.
Those and it's actually like approved by the band Rancid. Like they've looked at the art and went, "Yep."
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a pretty
awesome.
cool thing. You know, yeah, they Joe from Retro Rags reached out to me and was like, "Dude, I got an idea." So he kind of threw this idea at me and stuff, and I drew it up. He showed it to him, and the dude was like, and he didn't know that he was gonna, you know, send him anything. The guy in the band didn't. I think it was Tim. He didn't know, you know. We just kind of boom, look at this, look what we did, and he's like, oh wow, because he's in like collector groups. He's in the group like those guys like collect stuff, and they're into He-Man and all. So it was like no brainer, man. Let's do it, and they're totally in. We're gonna do 4 of them. So
yeah.
Hooray!
But I mean, that's you got. It says rancid and it has Sprout Snout on the underneath, and it's just so it's like a He-Man.
Well, what it was is okay. So those guys have a T-shirt, and it's based off like the Oakland A's, and the Oakland A's have I think it's just an elephant with like baseball bats in its trunk. And what they did for Rancid is they actually have their own. It's the same exact thing, only the baseball bats have like nails in them. So it's like, okay, that's cool. And then they put their Rancid in the font for the Oakland A's. So we took Snout Spout instead and put him in place of their elephant. So it's kind of like a take on two different things. It's like a parody
Multiple.
of a parody. Yeah. And then just took the Masters logo and put it in, or took the Rancid logo but put it in Masters font. So yeah. They were totally down. So,
and I don't know why that's such a
good.
hard thing to. And I don't know why it's such a hard thing to say for me. I cannot say it. Snout Sprout.
Snout Spout.
I know. I keep saying Sprout. I cannot get it out.
You know what, man? Just go old school and say Hose Nose.
Hose Nose.
Yeah, because that was supposed
Elephant
to be
face.
his original name, and they call him that on one of the episodes of She-Ra still. So people call you out on it, be like, listen, man, that was the OG name. It's Hose Nose.
I have no problem
That was his
admitting
name
that I
for
just
when
suck.
he came over from the old country.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
I have no problem admitting that I just cannot say it. I suck.
I just own it, man. Be like, yeah, Sprout,
yep.
Stout,
Stout,
Plout.
Snout, Sprout, Slout. He's gonna, he probably sprouts some seeds when he's spewing out some water from that snout of his, yo.
That's great.
Oh, man. Well, I tell you what, it's been fun. We'll have to do it again. Anytime you want, you're welcome back. It's always a pleasure to have you on here and hang out. And we'll have all the links to all your stuff below in the show notes. And until then, join us in Discord for all these awesome, fun chats we'll have in carryover in Discord. And if you want to hear these episodes early, hit us up on Patreon. And there's inevitably stuff that we've cut out of this episode that you aren't hearing, and that's because our Patreons are getting to hear it. So join us over there. And until next time, I've been Dustin.
I've been Bo.
Hey, I've been Jeremy.
Thanks for coming out. Have a good one.
Later, guys.
See you.
All right, man.
Boom.